I always talk about, I like to show Catfish. It's just, I like it.
I thought you said I like to show Catfish. I was like,
Yeah, professionally. I go around showing people.
Yeah, with that guy Knees.
wouldn't it be so cool if Rob had like this whole secret life where he was like a badass fisherman?
Oh yeah. That's I could just see him holding up
Me
the
too.
what are they called?
Catfish.
Big mouth bass.
What was the name of the biggest catch? Was that like a
Deadliest catch.
deadliest catch? I've never seen
Yeah.
it, but I know it was quite a phenomenon.
See, I think, like, it's kind of a letdown when if people were like, "Oh man, I got it," like we could look through all of Rob's emails, or we could see we could see into his life and this, and they'd be like, "Wow, he really does just do nothing."
Yeah.
I
They'd
respect
be
it.
let down.
I really respect it. There was a
too.
moment today where Jamie's like, "Hey, Rob, how was your week?" And then you said, "The same as it's been for the last 2 years."
Yeah.
No, he didn't say 2 years.
What'd I
He
say?
said 50 weeks.
50 weeks.
50 weeks.
You tell him, James.
That's under
Cutter
1
does
year.
that all the time to me.
But I think you do mix it up, Like this week, no sugar for you.
Yeah.
That's
2
right.
weeks.
Well,
no
I've been,
sugar.
no, I've been trying to cut out the sugar, and it didn't really work because I introduced fruit back into my diet. Whatever, boring. I can't stop thinking about me. Like, how when you go to if you go to a nice restaurant, they show you the bottle of wine. Like that's what I'm doing with Catfish. Like I show Catfish.
So the show
Professionally-
Catfish,
I
you like,
professionally show Catfish.
but you also love the show Catfish, and you like to show it to people, is what you were trying to say in the beginning of this.
No, I don't like to show it to people.
Oh.
I'm alone all the time. I like the show Catfish, not to
Great.
show the show.
And now I watched this show in its first couple seasons, and I was like, okay, I get it. But I don't see how it can still be
I've only seen
on.
the film.
Yeah, I think it was.
I guess it's happening still all the time.
Is it still good?
Well, thanks, bud. Great little. So I might have seen the craziest thing of all of them. It was a few weeks ago, but I haven't gotten to talk about it. So there's a guy, and he's like, I've talked to a girl for 2 years. She was my first love. She was down in Florida. I went down to Florida to move in with her, and then just got ghosted. Didn't hear anything. Blah blah blah.
To move in?
So now he goes, I met her on Xbox, like talking on Xbox,
God.
playing video
Is this gonna
games.
be my
That's what's
son's future.
Yeah, that's why I'm giving you a little.
I understand this deeply.
Yeah, I'm giving you a little window into your future, Jamie.
Great.
So he goes down there to move in. She ghosts him, doesn't hear. Now this guy, it's like 8 years later, this guy had 3 kids with a woman, engaged, all this stuff. And the woman contacted Catfish, and she's like, I need to solve this. Who was this person? Because the guy, like my fiance still thinks about it all the time and whatever. So they connect him, and he starts showing pictures of the girl. They're like,
Have they talked on the phone?
yeah.
Okay.
So he's like, he said we had one phone call that lasted 32 hours. Which did they sleep?
It had to be on a landline.
And yeah, I don't know if they slept. I don't know what. They didn't really get into details of that, which I was like, how do you not fucking ask about
Yeah.
that? But so now they're giving all the information, right? She's like, okay, this was where it happened. This is all the stuff. So now they get all the information. They're looking for the person. So they start looking for the person, and they find all of her like Facebook and this, and they reach out to her. They're like, hey, we're reaching out for somebody named Ted. Did you guys talk ever this? And you could tell something was up. Like my poker senses were like, something's fishy here. And she's like, well, no, not really. Like, I'm sorry, I got to go. And she like hangs up. And a day later, she's like, hey, have you heard anything? No. And the guy from Catfish is like, no. He's like, we're Zooming with the person right now, and we're talking about it. And she's like, okay, I'm going to come on the Zoom. So she comes on the Zoom, and she's like, there's actually, we're not all here yet. And which was like the split personality thing of like, whoa, we're not all here yet. And then another box popped up, and it was like a 55-year-old woman. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is the guy's like, well, I know it was her because I was getting tons of pictures and a lot of nudes. Like I was getting naked pictures, full body nudes, whatever. So she goes, so they start talking, and the girl goes, this is my mom. It was her who is catfishing you the entire
His wife's mom?
No, sorry. So it was the girl who came on and said it was my pictures. She goes, the person who was catfishing you was actually my mom. Yeah.
Using her daughter's pictures.
Right. My like 55-year-old mother. And the mother, you could tell like, she's like crying, whatever. And she's like, yeah, this was the whole thing. She catfished like a ton of people with her daughter's photos. and she was like 50 years old. These kids were 16 on Xbox, and they were getting catfished by her. And they go, "How did you get these pictures of your daughter?" And she's like, "Well, when I was with my daughter all day, I would tell her I love you so much, I want to take pictures of you." She would take pictures of her, send them to all these guys, like, "Oh, I miss you," whatever. And then they go, "But how did you get the nudes?" She goes, "When my daughter was sleeping, I would go into her." Yeah, you both just had the same reaction where you like jolted back. She's like, "I would go into her room, go through her phone, and find naked pictures. I would send them to my phone, delete the message, and then I would take those naked pictures and send them out to 16-year-old boys."
Totally normal. Absolutely normal behavior. This is okay, so it's still good. There's
Yeah,
still
that show still fucks.
And by the way, we have like a real adverse reaction to that. Here, close your mouth. And
our guys.
we had an adverse reaction to hearing this.
That
you know?
was.
But I feel like
so
if I saw
fucked up.
if I were to go on Pornhub and like Google MILF porn and that came up, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is hot.
MILF porn.
This is hot."
Would I be in? Am I in a MILF? Am I in like the MILF category? Like
Yeah.
if I was like, I want to be a porn star, you'd be like, well, you have to be a MILF one.
Well, you have a youthful look about you. I feel like you could kind of put one foot in each genre. You know, you could be the schoolgirl. You could be the teacher.
I could be the school girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could be like the cheerleader.
Yeah.
Like I could see that. Yeah, you do look very young, Jamie-Lynn.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a 40-year-old.
What do you
I'm
guys?
just kidding.
I'm gonna be 40 in a few months.
Yeah. I know. Don't remind us.
Yeah, that's when this pod ends. We just can't. What are we gonna?
At least with me.
Yeah, we can't keep doing that. Oh no, we can't say that. People actually get nervous that we might actually
I'm
end.
not ending.
But yeah, but how do I mean? And by the craziest part is this girl goes, yeah, thank you, Gabby. This girl goes, yeah, she goes, my mother came out and told me about it 2 years ago, and she's like, since I've forgiven her, and get the fuck out of here. I'd be like, that to me is just too fucking. That's on another level
Yeah.
of like.
People who
So
are
bad.
damaged and effed up can also have kids. And guess what? When they become parents, that stuff's still there. All their problems.
Don't you usually well, you would be able to know because you watch the show. Like, are these people normally very lonely people? Like, this woman's like has a child, like a full life. Like, I just can't imagine that's what I would do with my boredom. But again, like, there's clearly a psychological need for like human connection, and there's something really wrong with this woman, but I don't know.
Hey, did she go on the Xbox account?
Yeah, it was her the whole time.
The mom knew how to work Xbox.
Yeah, the girl
See,
had
that
no
to
clue
me
what was
is-
going on.
That to me is the most impressive part.
That the mom plays Xbox.
She just knew how to navigate it.
I
Very
could
savvy.
figure out how to navigate.
Very
an Xbox.
savvy. You think so?
Bo knows how.
Dude, no way. Bo knows how, yeah, because he's on it all day.
Right.
If I had to be like, Jamie, send me a message on Xbox, it would take you half a fucking day to figure that out.
But once I figured it out, I could do it.
Gabby knows. She's a gamer.
Are you a game? Oh, that's right. She is a gamer.
Yeah, she's the perfect woman for somebody. None of us here.
So that makes me think the one game I used to play obsessively on Xbox was Tiger Woods, which makes me think about the doc that we both watched. Rob hasn't watched yet.
Yeah. It would have been great if in the video game they had a whole section where the dad, you play as the dad and you like are playing mind games with your son Tiger and writing breakup notes to his girlfriends.
Oh my God. You know what? I just feel like I fully understand. It was so well done because it really gives you a real explanation of why this human is the way that he is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't forgive the shit that he did, but you understand why.
Totally.
You understand him as a human being,
Yeah.
and I root for him now in the way that not forgiving what he did, but like as a human being, like he worked so hard. And what I don't think I'm giving anything away, but what I marveled at and what a lot of people that knew him very well marveled at was his ability to compartmentalize, and what makes him so fucking good at what he does is he could literally have his world shattering around him and step on the golf course and be like, not thinking about that, just want to win.
His dad trained him to do that.
He did. His dad trained him to do that.
Now here's a couple questions. First of all, I totally agree. I think I heard that he didn't want this doc to come out.
I heard that too.
But I think it's really great for anyone who is critical of Tiger because
I hope he's happy with it.
It does give him a more human, like, because we've always just seen him as like a very sort of robotic like champion. And
he didn't choose to be this golden persona that his dad kind of set him up, and he kind of had to step into that. Like he didn't ask for it in many ways and was not comfortable with it, but like had so much, what's the word? Like so much
chutzpah,
trauma from his life that he knew no other way, that like it was inevitable for him to kind of like dip his toe in the darkness and the other stuff, because he literally, when they said something about like he needed to seek the thrill, like the adrenaline, like that's what he loved about like golf so much, was just the competition. And like in his life, you've reached this pinnacle, right? You're like untouchable. You're a fucking god to everyone in the world. Like, where else am I going to feel like that high again?
So what you're saying is if we got to know this catfish mom more, maybe we'd root for her a little bit.
if we found out that she was forced to catfish at a young age and for sport. Can I just say this about Tiger?
Her dad glued her hands to the keyboard.
Yeah. He should have shaved his head 3 surgeries ago. Like this guy, and the little bit of hair, a little tuft of hair he had.
Oh, is he like
He's
getting...
losing it.
Yeah.
All right, here's a question for you. We're talking late 90s. You walk into one of these Las Vegas nightclubs. You see Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, and Charles Barkley.
And if that lady came up to me and was like, they want to party with you, what would you do?
Who would you go to? I mean, I assume you would go to Michael Jordan.
I would not go to the table.
No, but you do go to the table, okay, in this scenario.
Tiger.
Why?
Tiger.
He's younger, seems sweet, more
sweet.
quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. See, in my head, I'd be like, well, of course girls would be drawn to like Michael Jordan. He's got the like one earring. He was just in Space Jam. He's wearing that suit where his shoulders like come out to here, you know? And like, to me, that guy looks like he would fuck, like real good fuck. But you would go to Tiger. Little like tuft of hair.
But that's the thing, is I don't look he'd be a good fuck.
Hi, Jamie,
like,
I'm
that's not
Tiger.
what I think. I'm like, who's like I would enjoy hanging out with?
Who would cheat on me in a real crazy way? And
oh my God, yes. Again, I was thinking, I'm like, if somebody said to me, those 3 really famous men would love for you to come to their table, do you want to party with them? I actually sat and thought about it in my bed last night. I was like, would I go over, like in my early 20s, you know, whatever, would I have gone? And I think I would have been terrified and not would have gone. Because I would have understood, okay, I'm being called over here because one of them wants to sleep with me, possibly, or I'm going to be...
Possibly.
I'm going to be... They're going to figure out if they want to sleep with me or not. And, like, instead of actually gaining, like, confidence or feeling, like, chosen and better about myself because they want me there, I would feel worse about myself going over there.
Could you imagine
I
what
would
Jamie
step in
would
there
look
and
like?
feel so insecure and be like, this is not where I thrive.
Just for the size difference alone, you and MJ, or like you and Charles Barkley, it would look like how he would hold you, like how I hold a Red Bull can.
MJ's,
you know, my fingers go all the way around.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I'd be tiny.
You'd be tiny. He would just drink you right up.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'd pay to see that.
Oh.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Yes.
How do you...
You are legit rubbing the whites of your eyeball right now, and it's freaking me out.
Are you shoving tears back in?
She's not hitting the corner. The skin from your finger is touching the whites of your eyeball.
I had something in my eye. I've been cheated on. Yeah.
So how do you find out? What do you...
The first... when I found out, like, as a young girl, I had a suspicion, and then for some reason, like, had his cell phone bill. And the old time cell phone bills, you would see the calls, and like at night, it was like so many calls to the same number.
Oh, so he was cheating with just one girl.
Mm-hmm. And then
they might have been in love.
My ex-husband, I found. We had separated for a minute, and I gone back to our place in LA to get some things and found someone's things in my
Like
apartment.
panties?
No, like clothes and belongings.
Wow.
Like they were hanging out there.
That's lazy.
well,
that's
he didn't-
wrong.
I don't think he thought I was going there.
Also, that's wrong, but lazy.
Yeah.
But you were separated?
Not yes and no. Like we need a break to figure this out, and like
Yeah.
I had to get something.
That means
and-
it's time to fuck.
Well, no, but from what I understood, it was happening while we were married as well. And then
sure.
I had another boyfriend. Yes, cheat on me. I found out because someone told me, and I confronted, and he said, "Yeah,
That sucks.
yeah,
That's no good. I feel terrible for
But
you.
it was terrible because I was so in love with that person at the time that I was like, should I just put up with this?
Oh,
I know.
Now I feel bad.
I
man.
know. Like I just was like,
Ugh.
is this is just what I should expect right now with this person? Like I think, and I really want to be with him and I really enjoy my time with him and he makes me feel so special when I'm with him. I literally, I remember and thinking, so I don't ever judge, and I never did before, but I remember being like, I would never judge anyone. Like it's hard. It's a mind fuck. Certain people are able to put you in a specific state where you're like, would I deal with this to be with this person?
Yeah, they're able to put you in that state.
I guess it was like almost my like Tiger Woods compartmentalization. Do you know what I mean? Of being like, I'm just going to forget about that so I can feel
Yeah.
happy with you.
I don't even need to see a red flag. If I see like something red poking out of a girl's pants pocket, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I-
No,
I just-
you know what? After that, though, after that, and I like realized like this is not healthy for me. And, we had like kind of gotten back together, broken up a couple of times. I was like, yeah, no, never again. I'm not putting up with any shit like that.
Did you ever
Again.
do the cheating? Did you ever cheat
Have I
on
ever
anyone?
cheated? No.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What a Jamie-Lynn. She's just so great. What, you been cheated on, Cass?
Let me look at camera here.
Touch the white of your eye if...
Do you need me to poke myself in the eye while you tell it?
Yeah, I have, and it's not great.
It hurts.
It's a terrible thing, and it's but it's a great sort of indicator of how a person feels about you. In what I mean is like if they're willing to risk hurting you in that manner, those are all the answers that I need to whether or not I should continue with this. That's how I think in hindsight. But I've been in a situation where I found out a thing and then I was like, look, I made a rationalization and excuses about it. And then I was like, all right, well, maybe I should be trying harder here.
Right. You're like, where am I falling short that this person is seeking something else?
Right. And so part of that is healthy, but I think overall, once that first line is crossed, trust is completely broken, and it's very hard to rebuild.
Yes. What about you, Rob?
I've...
You've been cheated on. We talked about that.
No. That wasn't...
Oh, that was after.
That happened after.
After you're
yeah.
broken up.
No, I've never been... Like, again, I was never really... I feel like I was in one relationship where if that person was hooking up with somebody else, it would be cheating.
Mm-hmm.
But there were other girls where it was like we were hanging out for months, 6 months, 9 months, for a lot, but we never made it like official. So if I did find out, I wouldn't really feel like
How
it
do
was
you
cheating.
go 9 months without making it official?
Jamie, I was nuts. I would
like,
disappear. Jamie, I would
Gabby's
disappear.
face right now is great.
That's like
Because-
you gotta write a book.
because
Like
girls-
what the hell?
Jamie, well, you know what? Actually, I don't want to talk about it.
We love our Hello Tushy bidet. As you guys know, it is the brand new modern bidet attachment that is here to level the playing field. It is stylish. It is eco-friendly, easy to install, affordable. You're just not just going to cleanse your butt with a fresh stream of fresh water, but it cleans itself before and after with their Smart Spray automatic self-cleaning nozzle. Okay, it just attaches to your existing toilet. It requires no electricity, no additional plumbing. You don't need to hire somebody to put this in. Cuts toilet paper use by 80%. So the Hello Tushy bidet actually pays for itself in just a few short months.
And no more clogging your plumbing with wet wipes that aren't flushable.
That's right.
Even though they say they are. Cut it out.
That's right. And sanitation is simple because they have the Schmutz Shield, which offers easy cleaning, and the knobs are naturally antimicrobial. Go to hellotushy.com/pajama to get 10% off plus free shipping. This is a special offer for our listeners. Go to hellotushy.com/pajama for 10% off. hellotushy.com/pajama. Bidets used to be just like this thing for fancy people.
Yeah.
You would think. Like fancy
French.
houses.
I always thought it was a French
It's
exclusive,
a French word.
but
like you had to be French to have a bidet?
yeah. And I was like, oh, that's just for them Frenchies. But guess what? I'm American, and we have it here too. Super easy to install, cuts down on all the wet wipes, like I said. And then on the dial, I'm a number 2. I'm a literal number 2 on the dot. That's the pressure I like.
Number 2 for your number 2.
That's right.
There you go.
The,
Well, again,
yeah, listen, if you're just level up your life, that's what's important.
There it is.
Get to the next step. This is, if you're still wiping your ass with
This is the
toilet
next step.
paper, it's just, if that's a great way to know, if I was going to date a girl and then I found out she's still just using toilet paper, I'd be like, where's your head at? I want to know,
if you want to
she's
date
like,
Rob, hellotushy.com/pajama.
she's like, of course I have a bidet. I'm not an animal.
It seems prehistoric to me that somebody would just wipe with just toilet paper.
It's a little judgy, but okay. I'm going to put out my arm here. Our tried and true Braddock USA, the affordable reusable masks that we don't hate putting on because they are comfortable, breathable, affordable. Face covers, scarves made from premium upcycled t-shirt and jersey material, created soft. Look at all of these fabrics and patterns. You can coordinate them with your outfits. We love them. Made right here in the US of A, in Los Angeles, protecting their communities. I grab one. I've got one in every corner of my life, in my car, in my glove box, in my bedroom, in the front of my house. So now when you go to check out their website at braddock.usa.com, you will see they already have great prices, but for a limited time, they're offering an additional 20% off with promo code PJPants. Again, that's 20% off your entire order with promo code PJPants at BRADDOCKUSA.com. BraddockUSA.com with promo code
PJ Pants.
Support the people that support the show.
Obviously, I was kidding. I'm not. I don't hold anything back from it. I'm sure there were, did the girl who I considered my girlfriend, did she cheat on me? I don't know. I never, not that I know of, but I'm sure we were fucking crazy. But, after that, when I would see girls for long periods of time, like I said, Jamie, I would just disappear for 5 days. I don't think girls were like, man, why can't, you know what I mean? So it was kind of like I would show up and I'd be there and we'd have a great time and then I would go on a bender or I would disappear.
You would have driven me crazy.
Yeah, well, that's why I never committed to a girl, though, where I was like, hey, I want to be your boyfriend. We would just be having fun and then Robbie would do his thing.
I'm telling you, those girls were hanging on just waiting for it.
There were times where, girls, I would tell girls, you don't understand, I can't just go have 3 or 4 drinks. It doesn't work for me. And they'd be like, well, let's try. And then we'd go out, we'd have dinner, and we would go, let's just have a couple glasses of wine, which wine was not my thing.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay. And then when I'd go to the bathroom, I'd go by the bar and be like, hey, let me do 4 shots of tequila.
You would take all 4?
Yeah. And then I'd be sitting at dinner and I'd start to feel the goodness. We'd go back to their place, have sex. They would go to sleep and I'd be like, all right, I'd get on my phone, start finding out where everyone was, put my clothes on, go out, and then I'd be drinking, doing fucking coke, partying, and then all of a sudden I'd get a text and look, it was 10 a.m. and it would be like, where are you? I just woke up and you're not here. And I'd be like, I told you. I can't have just a few drinks. And then so I'd stay up for 3 days partying. I would then sleep for, 16 to 20 hours, however, wake up a little bit, take some painkillers, go back to sleep. So by the time I showed my face again, and then, by the way, when I'd wake up, I'd feel like shit. So I wouldn't want to be like, hey, let's hang out. You know what I mean? I'd be like, hey, you know what? I wouldn't answer again for 12 or however many hours. And then I'd finally peek my head out again, and we'd hang out for a couple days, have fun. And then I would go on a bender. So I never had...
Yeah.
There's maybe 1 or 2 girls where I would have been upset if I found out they were hooking up with somebody else, but I kind of just I was like, you probably want to be because I'm
It takes me back to like my dating days in New York, where it would be so exciting when a guy would like ask you for a date. You'd be like, oh, okay, you want to go to
date,
lunch, you want to go to a movie, you don't want to just meet up and find out like where I'm going later tonight. You know what I mean? Like where there was a couple of like relationships I could just remember where it being like, what are you doing tomorrow during the day?
Yeah, I know what you mean because I've heard about that. I've never done it myself, but I've heard guys ask for dates in the middle of the day.
Yeah, it just felt like okay, this is moving in a different direction.
Oh, you're saying after an initial date?
You know,
a date
my
after
20s
that.
going out. New York was like you would go out to a club, like that's just what you did at night. Like you like we would go to restaurants sometimes, but that was like at 10 p.m. So it was just always like, where are you going tonight? We'll meet up there. And then you would hang out with all your friends and go home together or not or whatever. But like when a guy would be like, you'd get the text the next day or, instead of being like, let me know if you're out tonight or what you're doing, it'll be like, what are you doing for lunch today? It would be like.
Yeah, see, that's very interesting. The psychology of the day date is if you use it as the next day thing, it's like this guy's not just trying to have sex. There's an interest level there for him.
Like he wants to look at me and have a conversation with me over lunch.
But if the first hangout and then the opening salvo of this is let's go on a day date and you haven't met yet, what is the psychology there for you? Is it like, oh, this guy, see in my head it was just be like this guy wants to kind of play it kind of casual, not want it because dinner is a more serious thing.
That's just not how it went in New York for me. I would meet you out.
But I'm saying on your first date, a day date versus a night date, what's the difference in the feeling that you get? No difference.
This is more than a hookup.
A day date is.
Yes.
Even if it's the first time we're meeting.
I never met anyone for the first time over lunch.
Yeah. To me, that's interesting. Because now I think a lot of people do that.
But we were also in Sopranos at the time. I don't think people were like, I didn't have dates. I was also in my early 20s. It was like, I went from being married and like getting out of that. I wasn't dating anyone for a long time. And then my friends started taking me out to clubs, which I hadn't really done in a while. And I met my next boyfriend that was my boyfriend for the next couple of years. And he happened to own restaurants and nightclubs. So it's like I met him there. And if I wanted to see him, I would go to his places and he would kept inviting me. And then I remember one day he was like, what are you doing for lunch tomorrow? And I was like, okay.
See, there's also a thing in New York where it's like, even saying, hey, where are you going tonight? Let's meet up there is a big deal because everyone knows where you're going. It was like Monday, Lot 61, and then it was
butter.
like Monday, butter, and then Tuesday, suede, and then Wednesday was
Friday
like
was Marquee.
Yeah, Marquee. So you knew there was no need.
Yeah.
So
That's
like
such a different life than
it was so crazy.
Yeah, and there was like I don't know. I think people, if I look at it now from the mindset I have, I think like, wow, that's kind of fucked up. But when you're in the middle of it, it was like there would be times where I'd hook up with a girl on, let's say Tuesday night. And then Friday night, like I would hook up with one of her friends and she would hook up with one of my friends. But it was all like, it wasn't like, oh man, did you hear? Or like this happened or it was a big deal. It was kind of like, hey, everyone's here having fun. Like we're 19, 20. Everyone is just horny and drinking. And there wasn't this big like, hey, like now as a fucking 35-year-old sober person, it would be like, what you did, I feel this way about it. And where like, then it was just like, I don't feel any way about like, oh, you had fun? Cool. Like, me too. Like, that was it, Like, if anybody kind of wanted to have the conversations that I look to have now in my life, I'd kind of be like, I would just be like, oh, we're not vibing.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to talk about feelings. I just want to be like, what do you drink? What do you like to dance to?
But I also think talking about feelings is happening a lot more in general than it did back then. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there's people in there like seeing the way social media is going and seeing the things that people are putting out there and what's more common to talk about. I think that there's probably more interesting conversations being had than maybe when we were younger.
Well, also there's things that people were afraid to say in person that now they feel like it's like, oh, well, I'll text it to them. Like, this is how I feel. Or this is where before it'd be like, I feel this way, but I don't want to have to say, or it would just come out when you were drunk because.
Like, do you have a SkyTel? Oh, we have to say this in person now.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking though about with cheating is it's not even so much the act of cheating. To me, it's like just the shattering of who you thought this person was, or like how you like in my head I would think this person just thinks about me and I'm the person, like, so I have my idea of who you are and what you think and how you feel, and when I find out that it was like that you lied, whether it was like with cheating with something or anything, it just completely shatters my world of like, oh my God, I don't know this about you. I don't know anything about you. This just makes me feel like I question everything. And that's what would really wreck me about cheating. It wasn't even so much like sleeping with somebody else. It was just like my whole idea of who you were is gone. And that's what's hard to repair.
Yeah. Yeah, to me that's like that goes hand in hand with the trust. It's like
right.
I built trust with you because I thought you were this person, and now you've done a thing, and that's not something that this person would have done. And so like now my idea of you is different, and then the trust is because of that now different.
Yeah.
Not
but
as
is it
strong.
wrong? But at the same time, like I'll take responsibility and be like, but that's the story I made in my head about who you are.
Yeah, but you shouldn't feel bad for assuming that that story included somebody who wouldn't cheat.
Well, of
on
course,
you.
because they're
Yeah.
telling you that they're not.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And that's we should expect that out of people that we keep close to us.
I feel the same way. Exactly what you guys said. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how can I trust? Now I have to worry about everything you say, and I have to do. Where before it's like that's the whole point of being in a relationship, right? It's like letting that part go. It's like, all right, I'm not gonna second guess whatever you say. I'm just whatever you say. I'm taking it. And then as soon as one thing like that happens, it's like, oh, I second guess everything.
Yes.
You know, it's like, all right, well, I'm running late from work. It's like, are you?
Right.
You know, like the whole fucking.
Yeah. Oof.
So what if a guy said to you like, hey, 4 times a year, I just need to fuck a different woman, and let me get a hooker, or is there any workaround situation where if a guy said, hey, listen, I love you more than anything, but a couple
Gabby's
times a
like-
year, I want to, Gabby doesn't understand. She's
She's like this.
27, lives with 4 girls. Yeah, she gets the mail in her underwear.
That's at once every 3 months, by the way.
Or if he said twice a year or once a year on New Year's
Look,
and my
I have
birthday.
heard of stories of people's marriages where the wife has agreed to like let the husband do this, and their marriage is better than ever.
Yeah, for sure.
Better than ever. Their sex life gets better. I don't know. I don't think I could do it. At least at this stage in my life, I just feel like I would feel like it's unfair, and I feel like I want to be that I want to be the person. Like I would much rather be like, what do you need from me that you're feeling like you need that?
Yeah, I think that's normal. I think when you say I've heard of stories where it's worked, it's got to be like 1 out of 100.
For sure.
I mean, it's got to be such a
not like
rare.
a bunch.
Yeah, it's just I can't imagine still being able to like trust someone or just knowing that this thing is coming up. Like, oh, dude, my husband's gonna have to fuck and somebody else in 3 months, or else he's gonna like go cuckoo. You know, he's gonna go cuckoo.
Or like be home, like knowing where, like what's happening. Like what?
See,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just because we're looking at it from like as
Yes.
ourselves. You
Yes.
know, the same way if you said to me like if I didn't know that people could have like I have friends who have 3 drinks and they go home, or like I smoke a couple cigarettes of this. If I didn't know those people existed, I'd be like, that doesn't exist.
Right.
You know,
Does
I
that
think
make it polyamorous if somebody does it once or twice a year thing?
I think polyamorous is more multi-relationships.
we have a
Let me
listener.
look it up.
We have a listener who DMs us, who's awesome, who says like, if you ever want to talk to someone who's poly, I'll call into the show.
We
and
should reach out.
yeah, because
That's a whole it's in that whole cuckold world where I don't get it, but I understand it's a thing and it's out there.
see, I don't understand the cuckold. I understand the poly. Cuckold is that's I don't think, to me in my head they're so different.
To me, they're like the MasterCard symbol where there's some overlap between the two. Like it's hitting that same thing.
Polyamory is the practice of or desire for intimate relationships with more than one partner with the informed consent of all partners involved. It has been described as consensual, ethical, and responsible non-monogamy.
Is intimate relationship mean like more than just a physical, or can intimate relationship mean a physical relationship?
I think it means emotional, physical.
Yeah. Gosh, what a world.
Jamie, what about this? What if a guy said to you, "Hey, look, I'm never gonna fuck anyone else, but there's okay, so you're fine with a guy watching porn and jerking off, obviously. What if he was watching live girls, and he was jerking off to the live girls,
Like in front of him?"
No. I mean, like on his computer, there were girls that he watched, that he went to watch, who like they were real girls who were live, not just a porn star in a movie.
Like a Zoom? Like a FaceTime?
You've never heard of cam girls? Like girls, there are girls, you could go to a website right now, there are millions of girls just on there right now waiting for guys who
really? Oh.
They come on, they give you money, and then they say like, all right, finger yourself, or do this, or Jamie,
unbelievable. Can you believe this?
Jamie is genuinely giving me the look that you're pretending to give. That's what's insane. Jamie had no clue that this is going on.
Jamie,
why would I know this is going on?
For
why do you
20,
think we're
30 years.
all broke in Bryce's garage?
That's right.
This is where all of our money goes.
I don't know. Fuck. Well, see, yeah, will you tell me shit like that, and then I'm like, does Cutter do this?
Yes.
No.
No, not
our
I
Cutter.
don't know.
Not CX44 over on Globe Chat. He would never do that.
Oh, you mean CD's nuts
Yeah.
username?
I don't know. I mean, again, I don't judge people for what they do and stuff, but
No. I want to know about your husband.
I can tell you, Cutter would be fucking pissed if he knew that I watched another dude, and
we would all be pissed.
But you love Bridgerton right now.
I don't. Yeah, but I'm not like
got a little
masturbating
annoyed.
to it.
I think he got a little annoyed at how much you talked about the dude from Bridgerton.
I, by the way, didn't talk much about the dude from Bridgerton. Maybe said one or two comments, and then you would like egg it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you talk about him, your face gets red.
No, it doesn't.
You get
Yeah.
pokies.
I haven't checked his followers lately. Should we do an update?
yeah.
Should
I'm
we
looking
do
at
an
one of them
update?
right now. I can tell you that.
I don't follow
gotta
him.
tell you, dude.
You
I
look at him
follow
enough, you
him.
might as well just follow him. So,
That's so weird.
but
Cutter just tried calling
where's your line? Cutter what?
me. Just tried calling me.
Oh boy,
He knows something's up, something's afoot.
she's actually in between two men right now.
3.7 million.
So, Jamie, where is your line of, okay, you don't mind Cutter watches porn, but if, let's say he's watching live girls, but he's not talking to them. Is that okay?
Isn't that just a porn then?
But I'm saying these girls are, yeah, kind of, but they're, like let's say he goes.
I don't like it. I don't like
You
it.
wouldn't.
I have a bad feeling in my tummy now. I don't like it.
Let's say, okay, because you'd be worried, what, that he would go to the same girl over and over and start to fantasize about her? What's the, because that's the thing, right? There's so many things.
Well, where am I in this? Like,
We
am I
should
in the
meet
kitchen?
Where am I?
Am I doing dishes right now? Am I putting our kids to bed? Like, what's happening?
I'm saying just whenever Cutter feels the need to jerk off, if he's on the road, if he listen, you never want to fuck, so he's got to jerk off every now and then.
Oh.
When he goes, when he's like, hey, I'm going to do my thing, it wouldn't bother you. The level, okay, so the meter from 1 to 100, if he's watching a porno jerking off, you're at a 0.
Nah, I'm not at a 0. I'm like a 25.
Of anger.
Not anger. I'm just like,
Right, but that's kind of
Like,
the same. When
fine.
he's like, "Hey, babe, I want to fuck," you're at like a 50 of, right?
it's not true.
You're like, chill. I was just but listen, don't feel bad. Like we've said, we understand. It's like you wake up in the morning, the kids are, and then you're changing, and then they're hugging.
No, when
and
my
then they're
kids
kissing, and then
start
they're there.
leaving my house again, and I have a fucking time to breathe, I'll be back to like pepping her step Jamie. But
that's
like,
what I'm talking about. We
I'm, like,
understand
drained.
why you
Yeah.
don't want to fuck. It's not like, Jamie, how dare you
No.
not want to have all the sex? It's like, yeah, we fucking get it. It's okay to
Yeah.
feel like you don't want to fuck all the time.
right?
So, yeah. No. So if you found out that he was, because I was watching a thing the other day, and it was like this is totally different. We could stop talking about that. If you ever cheated on people, how this, and then it was like, these are crazy ways that people found out they were being cheated on. And one girl, like the doctor was like, oh, you have E. coli in your urine? And they couldn't figure out why or like what was going on. I forget the exact, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure this is exactly what happened. And then what she found out was she went through her boyfriend's phone and she found out he was banging dudes. And would bang a dude, then come home and bang her. And that was like his thing, I guess. And it would transfer
The doo-doo.
feces
The doo-doo particles.
into her vagina. And
What a terrible thing.
She got E. coli in her vagina. Oh. Yeah, and then the best one was this girl was like, yeah, my boyfriend came over to see me, and he was drinking a Starbucks like that, and it said Brittany on it, and Brittany was his ex-girlfriend. And that's how she figured out that he was still seeing. Like, the dude just walked in like, hey, babe, with the coffee, and just saw, hey, babe, and saw, boom, Brittany.
Whew.
Wow.
That's why you got to order it. You got to do your own orders through your mobile app. Gosh, that is, that's one where I feel like I could screw up doing something like that, even though it seems
Makes
so
me
obvious. There's a lot of things you don't think about.
Nope. Be careful.
Now, Jamie, are you ready with that clip, Gabby? I have a clip for
love
you.
when
I
you
want you to
surprise us.
watch this girl's makeup tutorial. Can you make it full screen, please? I want you to watch this girl's makeup tutorial really closely and tell me if you could tell me what happens here.
I'm using my mom's Bobbi Brown. It's the red number 10. There you go. It's a really pretty color. She just got it brand new, so shh, don't let her know we're using it. So let's just start. You want to start by filling in that little top part. It looks like a heart on your lip. Just kind of get it in there.
Okay.
Fill it in a few different
She looks
times
like a
to kind of
toddler
get a
putting on
real
lipstick.
deep
I don't
color.
think she's very good at this.
And then kind of go in here at the bottom.
Oh, fuck. Oh. Holy shit. Is that real? She looked like she was
a bad
putting it on,
actress.
yeah.
She looked like a bad actress.
Look at the line on her face. So it's a girl who's
Where
trying
does
to...
she live?
Yeah, why were things falling
Does
so
she
easily?
live in a fault line?
Can you rewind it like just a few seconds of it getting right before it starts shaking?
Wait,
That is some bad
it was
acting.
bad
though.
acting.
Here.
Dude.
No trying to hold for cover, go under she just literally was like, I'm not getting off this camera.
Hear me out. This
Here.
is a theory.
You think it's fake?
I think it's fake.
I
I
do
think
too.
she's in a trailer.
I do too.
And it's made because I have been in Southern California since '93. I have
Nothing is
never
that-
seen
agree.
an earthquake. That is a small enough room to where even like a studio could set dress that in an afternoon.
Yep.
And there's probably
I'm
just
with
a
you.
bunch of guys on the outside of that thing. And her bad acting is a tell. to me.
Everything fell so easily. That
Yeah.
picture off the wall looked like it got pushed.
I
Can
saw
we
it
do
and
some research?
I saw it and I laughed so hard.
I call bullshit.
It's funny
Yeah.
because of her face, but it also just doesn't strike me as a real piece.
And then because at the end she also sits there, which you would think she would get up instantly, right, and go to like just move.
Yeah.
here's-
Yes, that's
here-
what I mean.
Here's the other thing is that if you were writing something like this, you would be like, what's a great sort of visual to have during an earthquake? And of course,
red
it's
lip.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it's this. And the way she put it on, it did not look like she was an expert
She
in
was like-
makeup. Let me just say that.
When we were just talking about cheating. I forgot to ask you, how long do you think when someone does cheat, since no one here has, amazingly, how long do you think someone feels bad after they cheat? Is it like right
Forever.
what?
Forever, I would think.
No. I'm saying like the second you come, are you like, oh no, I just cheated, or is it like
I don't
when you
know.
see that the other person again?
I don't know. I wondered that.
Right after you
I would
squirt.
wonder that. I'd be like, did you think about me during that time? Like, I think those were the things that would go through my head. Like, when you were done, were you like, I feel bad for, was I ever even part of the equation? Like, was I thought about at all? Like, was I thought this was in spite of me? Like, all of those things, like, we would wonder. Like, are you, like, angry at me when you do this? Like, what is the, where is the thought with me? I guess I would think that they're probably not thinking about you at all.
If it's anything like masturbating, it's the second I spurt after I go, ugh, look at you. Look at this mess. Put that lotion away. Like, flush the toilet. Clean yourself up. That's what I think. It's
Oh, you
gotta-
do it in the bathroom?
Well, yeah, sometimes. I like to do it. I like to do it in the bathroom. I like to do it in my bed. I like to do it in the shower.
See, that's the other reason why. Yeah, I've talked about this before. Where like, so much of the sex stuff, I feel like a lot of it is just like the show for the woman. You know, with guys, especially like why are guys taking dick pills to make their dick hard for an hour when like you get the same sensation? Like, you're a dude, you bang for 15 minutes and you come, it's great. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
You know, and it's like, well, they think the chicks want like an hour, and it's like it kind of tells you also a little bit about it. Where like, listen, I've been jerking off for 20 something years. I've jerked off in like 2 or 3 positions. You know, it's like it's not like, man, where's my legs going to, what's the weird thing? It's like it's such clockwork. Like, okay, I know what to do. And the 3 positions,
I look like I have cerebral palsy when I masturbate.
Oh God.
The way my body is, not attractive. But when you're doing it in front of a girl or like on a FaceTime or something, much more relaxed. You're just. But if it's just me, I'm hunched over.
you look like Nosferatu.
I do.
Yeah.
I look like a vampire, like a gargoyle.
I don't actually want to.
I put my toe up on the counter and I snarl.
I could just imagine it's probably even worse to see you, just your silhouette, than it is to actually see the full thing.
Yeah.
Like your silhouette of jerking off, like the
Oh,
hunched over, the
I
nose, the
actually really
glasses.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Jamie?
I don't like this part of the conversation.
Okay, and
think about me.
You guys are making me work today, huh?
Read that email.
Okay.
We have emails.
Do you want me to read an email?
Whatever you guys would like. What do you guys? What do you fucks want?
Let's do a palate cleanser after
All right. Okay.
me perching and stroking.
Hi, Pajama Pants podcast crew. My name is Christina, a day one jammy babe. Well, I've been wanting to write in
Love
for a
that.
while, and now that I'm out of weed, I'm finally over the writer's block. I want to thank you for coming out with such fun, authentic, brilliant podcasts. I just moved back to New Jersey from Orlando to be with my mom for the holidays. She thinks I'm nuts cleaning up around the house with my headphones on, laughing out loud to you guys. I love alien UFO related topics, dirty jokes, gambling, and anything Jamie says. Oh,
Dirty jokes. What?
Gambling
Gambling.
and
Whoa.
anything Jamie says.
She hit all of us right there.
Yeah.
She did.
Holy cow.
She's the best. I love her stories. Mukbang moments and her haircut. Rob and Cassim inspired me to quit drinking, so thank you to both for that as well. I didn't drink much to begin with, but when I did, I always regretted the hangover and whatnot. Anyways, enough about me. Let's get to the questions. First question is for Rob, who looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Have you
looks
ever
great.
tried doing stand-up comedy? I think you're hilarious, sharp, and witty.
Well, thank you. I have not.
Would you ever?
You know,
would
I've-
be great.
I've had friends try and get me to do. One of my friends who I've asked to do this podcast, but Marlon
Yeah.
Waynes is a friend, and he's always traveling on Thursdays to go do stand-up comedy. But he's always threatening me with like, I'm gonna take you to a club one night. I'm gonna just put you up there, and it's my
Yes.
worst. So I'll never go to a stand-up like club with him because
'Cause
I'm
you
like,
don't
I
wanna be
would
called
never.
up.
Yeah, because listen, I think if I really prepared or like tried a bunch of times or whatever, could I have like a good 5 minutes? Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I think anyone from New York probably
You have
could.
a great
No,
personality
I don't
for
think
it.
anyone from New York. I think you have what it takes.
You have like the confidence, but you have like you're likable.
Just talk about like your hatred for germs and like
And no
your
sex.
whole celibacy thing is an
huge.
hour.
What a
it's
bit.
an hour.
Yep.
What a bit.
What a great bit you've got.
But I know
Yeah,
I
you
would
heard of this
never.
no sex thing.
I know I would never. I know I would never want to be a stand-up comedian, like the traveling and the staying in the hotels.
Yeah, that
and
doesn't
doing
sound great.
Well, maybe
It's
you could be
all-
like a virtual one.
No. I just it's not for me.
Okay.
I got the place for you, sir. It's youtube.com.
Yeah, I've written like little things about like, oh, I think this would be a good stand-up bit, or I think this would. But most of the stuff that I've written, I've just now made it like one line and just brought it in here and
Yeah.
been like, well, let's talk about this.
Wow.
You know,
Well, I
we'll
think
stay
you
on
could-
this.
I think you'd be great.
TBT.
Thanks, babe. That's the first compliment in
I mean, TBD.
79 episodes.
No,
Well,
I
this-
complimented you earlier today after you said you had none sugar, and I said, "Great job, babe."
Yeah.
Doesn't
does.
he look
really-
great?
it's not-
Doesn't he look cut?
It's not really a
He always
compliment.
looks great. The next question is for Cassim. How was Hawaii? Catch any UFO activity in the skies while you're out there? I love when you go balls deep into alien and UFO topics.
Right after I left, there was a sighting.
Have any experiences where you had seen something in the sky?
No, all I do is try and look up. No, it's funny. A week after I left Hawaii, there was this. If you Google it, there's like it's like a blue sort of tube thing that was spotted over Oahu.
Cool.
Yeah, and then while I was there, somebody else took video the night before, and he's like, "Hey, dude, can I show you something? This was weird." And then it was crazy. It was a crazy video, and I get very jealous when people have
Sure.
these experiences. Yeah.
I've seen stuff in Vegas for sure. I
Cool.
saw like
Sober?
weird. Yeah, sober. But it was more like I thought I saw. We were in a car, and I thought I saw like
I thought.
a spaceship, and it was really weird, and like it was kind of like high, and it was low, but like kind of far away. So we went by a house, and then like the house blocked it, and then when we got around the other side of the house, it was just gone.
Wow.
It was real weird. But I in my head, I'm always like, you know what? There's probably some weird explanation.
Yeah.
Something I don't know.
Well, dude, all the employees that work at Area 51 fly out of.
Vegas.
McCarran.
Yeah, I think so. They take what are called the
I know my
Janet,
airports.
the Janet flights, and they fly from there. They live in Vegas, around Vegas, and they take that short little hop over every day. So and there's Area 51's obviously everyone knows they're keeping alien bodies there, but they do test aircraft and things like that, and that's where we tested like the B-2 bombers and all those things. So you could have seen either way. I think it's cool, unknown or new aircraft, or it could have been a UFO. That's cool, man. That's real
Okay.
cool. That gets me going.
Now he likes me again.
Yeah,
All
that gets
right.
me going.
Well, you know. By the way,
Uh,
could get me killed by the aliens, but I tell it because that's the pot.
Next question is for Jamie. Have you tried shrooms or shroom chocolates? If so, what was it like? And have any wild stories being on edibles or stone? I loved them. I love shrooms and shroom chocolates. I have so many funny stories. I've done them in lots of different scenarios: Disneyland, weddings,
The birth of my
backyard
son.
parties.
Club openings.
No.
remember.
Dinner last night.
I've done it, and they're great. I think that they've always had very positive responses out of me. I've always felt like they were very transformative experiences for me. I've only ever used them with intention, never to be fucked up. So it's always been an intention behind it. So I guess it would be more for like self-bettering purposes than just partying, but I do love mushrooms.
That's mom Jamie you're talking as now, right? Because before
Well, I
you
would
were a
da-
mom,
when I,
you had a little
no,
fun.
of course I did. For the first time I ever did it was so fun at Disneyland. The first time I ever did it, and that was just to like. I had never smoked weed really before that, like maybe a handful of times. So I think it was like my first foray into like a drug, but felt super safe and in control the whole time. I wasn't seeing anything crazy or like having any crazy visuals. So it made me feel safe to do it. And then I realized that, you know, if I was going to be taking a drug or altering my awareness or, you know, sobriety, that I would want it with some intention, and became Mom Jamie.
Do
Anyway.
you remember you said there were like those 4 questions on ayahuasca
Yeah.
that you ask and then the
Yeah.
answers? Would you tell if you have any good like answers? Would you tell the questions and like have you heard any answers where
They're
you were
good
like,
for sober.
wow?
They're better sober. The questions are way better sober. They're for you and your partner. Did I say them already in the podcast?
I think so, but we
Okay.
should say them again.
So it's basically you would turn to your partner and you are asking questions.
Oh, let's just you two should do it. People love this stuff.
Yeah. So you would ask
Hold
me
my
the
hands, babe.
questions.
This is so sweet.
And I answer, but you can't rebuttal.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
You do this as you two, and what you really have
All
to
right.
say to each other.
Is there anything you want to say to me?
Yes.
So you would say it. And then is there anything you don't want to say to me?
Yes.
Okay. So then you would say it and I
Well,
wouldn't
wait,
respond.
don't skip those parts.
Well, yeah. Should I say
Oh,
those things?
Yeah.
okay. So is there anything you want to say to me?
Yes. I don't like The Sopranos.
Okay. Is there anything you don't want to say to me?
Yes.
I like The Sopranos.
You can say it.
I think you could do a better job shaving.
It's so true. It's so true. Then
Down by your pussy.
is there anything you would like to honor me for?
Yes. I honor your dedication to motherhood and your commitment to not having sex with me.
Okay. And is there anything you wish you would like me to change or work on? Or no, I'm sorry,
Shaving.
that's not the question. Is there anything you would like me to honor you for?
Yes. How smooth my member is. I feel like that goes unnoticed.
I didn't know that, so that's why it's unnoticed.
You're supposed to be being you. Why would she know how smooth
Oh, I
your
thought it was
member
being cutter.
No, you're being cast.
You're not good at these games.
Oh, I was being
Well,
your
those are the
husband. You
questions.
said
He's
you
just-
turned to
he's-
your loved one.
He's good at these. Here's a compliment
Your
for you.
partner.
He's good at these games. He's just bad at listening. Yeah,
terrible.
that's the problem.
Terrible.
I don't think so. I think I'm very
Well, those
good.
are the
Of course you wouldn't.
questions, and they always, if you go into them with the understanding that you're not going to judge the other person, and it's a safe place for them to say these feelings because you are asking them to. Like, you have to be like, I'm not going to get mad at you for saying this because I am asking you to bring this on. So you have to be in the right headspace to be able to ask these questions and receive what the other person is going to say. But I think that they're very helpful. And I find in times where I feel like I'm not in a rut, but I'm like just feeling like we're not communicating right and I don't like this and I'm willing to hear what my shit is. Like, I'm very willing to hear this. It's more actually in a space where I'm willing to hear what my shit is than me wanting to tell him about him. It always ends up being that way. But I do think it is a very helpful tool to have. I've never done it in a friendship, but I could imagine it being very helpful in any type of relationship. I've only ever done it with my husband, but I just think that they're, really powerful questions.
Have you heard of people, especially men, who are like feel like they're addicted to alcohol because it's the only time that they can like let their emotions out?
Sure.
Like, they can be emotional.
Sure.
Is that a thing?
Or like feel vulnerable or feel, yeah.
Well, with guys, it's like, it's okay, bro. Yeah, what's up? And then guys get drunk. It's like, I fucking love you, man.
Sure.
Like, because it's like when you're a dude and you're young, you're told like, stop fucking crying. Like when there's a girl crying, it's very like, oh my God, what's the, and you get attention, where when you're a dude crying, it's like you're always told like,
Weakness.
stop fucking crying. Like, what are you crying about? That you're crying about that? You fucking pussy, you sissy. So you're told to bottle it up, but then as soon as people get drunk, it's that like, I love you, like I fucking, like me and my friends always used to be like, I fucking kill someone for you, dude, like,
Yeah.
You
We're
used to
starting
get
a
like
business tomorrow, bro.
Eh.
Your ideas are so good.
Yeah,
No, we
I
never said that.
I love everything about you, dude. Oh, you're my best.
Yeah, I feel
So funny.
alcohol is a great way to let your guard down in general, and when that's down and you're bottling up your feelings 6 days a week, and that one night a week gives you a great sort of. I bet the release is great. I think to me that was always the most annoying part of drinking or getting sober and being around people who were drinking, because it's kind of like clockwork. When people get to that point and they want to connect in that drunk way, where they're like, let's hang out tomorrow all day, and you're just like, you're still just here, and
Yeah.
and they're not getting what they want from you, and
Yeah.
we're just on different frequencies
And you're
right
like, I
now. But I
don't
still
know.
think you're a great guy.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to hang out tomorrow, like, sure, but let's be honest, you're gonna be hungover for a
Yeah.
good part of the day. So that was always pretty hard, being newly sober. You kind of have to remove yourself from that world a little bit.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's interesting
Yeah.
because I've been with people who are on shrooms and I've been sober, and it's very easy to connect for me. Like, it's very easy to even start feeling like, whoa, are things getting a little fuzzy? Like, you kind of feel like you're getting
Yeah, of
on their
course.
level, where with drunk people, there's zero. Like, it's like, get away.
Yeah.
I don't like where you're. And obviously, I'm not talking about people who have like 3 glasses of wine. I'm talking about people who are like,
Well, a drunk energy, I always like equate to like very dense energy. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a very hard energy. It's very like, it's just aggressive. It feels like
It is very aggressive. People, it's physically and emotionally
yes,
aggressive. Yeah.
yes, and people that are shrooming or stoned in the right way, it's lighter. It's more connecting. Like drunk connecting is more like, I need to get these feelings out. You're not giving a shit what the other person is saying. It's like, I need to say that I feel this way. And when you're on more of like the, plant stuff, it's more like you want to receive and hear. It's like the give and the take, and it's like vibing, as opposed to drunk is just like my level.
Yeah, it's like drunk people. I'm going through like Untethered Soul right now, and it talks about like being open or being closed, and it's like people on shrooms or those drugs make you feel open.
Yes.
And people who are drinking make you feel closed. Like you're like, please don't step on my, like, oh, okay, yeah, I get what you're like. Okay, now there's spit. Like it's very like a closed off kind of thing. Did we finish that email?
No, so we're just gonna finish it.
We're almost
This
there.
is from Christina. Tomorrow's her birthday. So happy belated birthday.
What's the date on this?
We're like
okay,
3
all right,
months.
I see.
Ugh, I'm single, turning 30, and it's been one hell of a year. So my last question is for Rob and Kassem. Any advice on dating during a pandemic? How should I go about this? Any apps you would recommend? I'm like a Rob germaphobe. However, I can't stand FaceTime and can't do too long on online fling. So should I just hold off till next year? What do you think?
This question's for Cass.
Couple things here. I do think dating apps can provide some value. Mm-hmm. Although I think certain ones
What
are
is the
better than
value?
others. I think for a female, Bumble and Hinge seem to be, I think you get a better crop of choice than like a Tinder. I might be wrong, but when I think about these dating apps, I think of Tinder as like the hookup app. People want to hook up and not potentially seek some sort of relationship at all. I think Bumble and Hinge as more relationship type things. I would say if you can manage your time on these apps, because they can suck up a lot of your attention and they're kind of made to keep you on the app. If you can manage it, maybe turn your notifications off or something, check in a couple days. I think it's a great way to meet people.
Yeah.
And you can you don't have to give somebody your phone number. You can do meet FaceTimes within the app.
She doesn't like FaceTimes.
Or you can just, chat.
Okay.
But you're going to have to see, eventually, if you like a person, you're going to have to see what they look like. So
Of course.
My advice is stay single for at least 12 years.
She's so cute.
it's great
Look at her.
advice. Oh, she sent yeah.
Did she send a booty shot? Turn it around. Whoa.
Gabby, we're gonna need enhancements on these photos, okay? Send them.
All right. That's
That's the ep. That's the epi.
Yeah, thanks
Thanks,
for
guys.
watching.
We got kind of personal today.
well, some of us did.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish Rob would open up more. If you guys are watching on YouTube, click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when our videos go up every Tuesday morning right now. And if you're on Instagram, follow us there. We're on Twitter as well, Pajama Pants Pod. And then also, we have a subreddit, r/Pajama Pants Pod. So tune in there and have discussions with like-minded jammers. Jammy Pants or peepees? We haven't decided.
Not peepees.
We're
Not
peepees.
peepees.
I'll call you peepees. All right. Thank you. We'll see you next time.